All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's Scars Busch Series race at Homestead Miami Speedway. Really excited about this race. I love Homestead. I love the Xfinity car, and I think tonight is going to be a lot of fun. Um, we jump right into it. We're going to call this the Soon-to-be-the-new-Atlantis 90. It's at Homestead Miami Speedway. It's going to be a night race. The track, the air, nice and cool. Track should be really fast. And we should have some really good racing tonight as we move down to the home stretch of this season. And as we see, we are on the fourth race to the end of the year, so point standings are getting close. I don't have a graphic just yet for that, but just to kind of talk about the point standings just a little bit to give an idea of what's going to happen tonight, what kind of storylines may be brewing. But as of right now, we're going to talk about the with drop weeks point standings. Not really relevant just yet, but let's just talk about the ones that without the drop weeks, because a few guys have had to miss races, and that's okay. But Lee Dawson sits atop the point standings right now with a hefty lead. But as those drop weeks start to happen, we get two. That is going to close really quick as folks like John Honecker, Jonah Colbert, who have put together some really nice races. And with drop weeks at the moment, it is a 3-point differential between first and third. So extremely tight between John Honecker, Jonah Colbert, and Lee Dawson. Lots of guys who can make some gains in the next few races. So, but that championship is looking to be extremely tight as we move towards the other part of the schedule. We're at Homestead tonight for 90 laps. Watkins Glen next week, Daytona, and then Fontana for the finale. So qualifying should be over, and I believe we are probably getting ready to grid just in a few moments. So what we'll do is we'll go right through Lee's keys for the race. Something that we've started doing, and we're going to continue to do, is Lee Dawson, our current points leader, is going to give us some keys to the race and what he thinks will be important for this race as we go forward. Turn 4 exit. Turn 3 and 4 is an odd turn where if you get on the gas too soon, you can push out towards the wall, get really tight, really burn the right front off. And if you get too low, though, it can get really loose and snap loose on you. It really messes with the balance of these cars. So it's important that you really manage that. 1 and 2 is just like any other turn, any other mile-and-a-half track. So it's important that you are patient and you hit the line just right. High line versus low line. So the high line definitely does work here. And you can make passes a lot like Atlanta. It's been updated to allow for the top line to work. The only problem is it does burn up the tires. So you have to be careful not to abuse it. You can make up a lot of ground. You just don't want it to be you don't want to run up there the whole time. You're going to have to go back and forth and use it as needed as we do this race. So it's important that you manage that throughout the whole race. And then last is green flag pit stops. With this track having multiple grooves, being really wide, the likelihood of a lot of cautions, especially in a field of 13, is going to be relatively low. And so it is important that you get into the pits really fast, get out, make a lot of time, don't make any mistakes, no speeding penalties because it's going to cost you. So those are the Lee's keys of the race, and really thank him for putting those together. That's always fun to do every week. Somebody that's in the race that has a really good grasp on this car, and It's a really good key. So. And we are pulling out of the pits now to get started on our pace laps. Should have one, and we'll kind of go over the grid and see where everybody's starting. If I can get it on the right page. And there we go. All right, looks like our pole sitter, Jonah Colbert, 33 second lap, 33.8. Lee Dawson right behind him in second. Scott Tompkins in third. Steve McDonald fourth. Anthony Pritchett fifth. Alan Smith with a great qualifying effort in sixth. Zach Mahoney seventh. Kevin LePerrier eighth. Sean Pauley ninth. Scott Sindel 10th. And John Honecker and Philip Nugent bringing up the rear 11th and 12th. With no qualifying, expect to see them to come up through the field. I'm expecting just a fun show. It's going to be a fun race to broadcast. I cannot wait as they are coming around to take the green flag. 90 laps as these guys are going to use that high line. The pace car comes off. Jonah Colbert going to lead us to green. We have to go on green at the start. And we are green. Dive down into the first turn. Side by side, Lee Dawson, Jonah Colbert, Lee Dawson working that high line, seeing if it's going to work early on as Jonah is able to actually get a little bit of time on the bottom. They're still side by side as we go down into 3 and 4 for the lead, trying to get that early advantage. There's a couple lines that I want to highlight, and we'll see how they play out and see how it goes as the race goes on. There are 3 workable grooves here, especially in 1 and 2. As you see, Jonah has been able to clear Lee Dawson for the lead. As what a great shot there as Scott Tompkins looking to the inside of Lee Dawson. Going to try to slide up in front of him and does. Scott Tompkins up to second place as we are just now getting rolling. But a really good start for everybody. 3 lines that we're going to have to worry about. There's going to be one right on the bottom. There's going to be one a little bit up from the bottom, and then if somebody's brave enough, right against the wall. And we talked about that through Lee's keys. Got to be sure to not burn your tires up. Jonah Colbert, if you'll watch from let's actually go back on board with Scott Tompkins. Let's go. Let's see. Let me just fiddle around and watch Jonah's line as he goes down into the corner. Gets right on the bottom, so he's electing to use that bottom. Saves a little bit of tires. You can see the car, as you see, it looks like Alan Smith had an accident. But as we watch going down into 1 and 2, he should put his left sides right in that light area, and his right sides will be on the other side of that seam eventually. And that'll be the really fast line that'll save tires, but also put down some quick times. Let's go back and look and see what happened to Alan Smith. He had a great qualifying effort, and looks like he may have had some sort of accident. Oh, wow, yeah, it just pops off the wall there. Let's go back to it one more time. Running that high line. Oh, yeah, just tags the wall. Just gets a little bit too high and probably gets a little arrow push behind somebody and ends up wrecking. So he's going to go in and get his fast repair, get back on track, and be ready whenever, if there is ever a caution, he can get back on the lead lap. Back up front, really no change, but Lee Dawson is on the prowl. He's starting to look on the inside of Scott Tompkins. Has been able to run him down. Lee starts to see Jonah start to head off into the sunset, and he is trying to make sure that he does not let him get away. We see quite a few people running that top line. You know, we got a nice little battle back here between Zach Mahoney, Kevin LePerrier, and Philip Nugent. And we're going to really see a lot of folks have a lot of fun. Regardless of how it wears the tire, sometimes you don't care. Running the top side is just a lot of fun. You know, as we see the battle for second place is still up in the air. But running that top side is just too much fun. You really can stay in it. You can get back in the gas a lot sooner, and it's a lot of fun getting those huge runs off the corner as Lee Dawson is able to clear Scott Tompkins, get those runs off the corner, make passes, and you really couldn't do that in the past. So a lot of fun to run here regardless of tire wear. But it looks like that's what they're doing. They're using that top side to their advantage to make passes and then getting back down on the bottom line or that right off of the bottom. The bottom is pretty loose, so it can be a little spooky. Jonah Colbert going to have a really nice advantage starting on the pole, getting out to an early lead, being able to use that arrow to his advantage. Someone has to be, just a little bit. I mean, you can be faster, but if you get right to the bumper of somebody, that car will get tight. One thing that's weird, it's not as pronounced in this car as it is maybe the Cup car, but it's still there. If you are on the bottom and you are trying to make a pass on somebody and someone is running maybe the middle line, up line, the higher line, excuse me, and you come across their back bumper, your nose will actually lose all downforce. You'll actually start pushing out towards the wall. So, got to be careful with that. Got to be able to manage that as you're trying to make passes on people, to not let that get a hold of you, and because it will take you into the wall really, really quick, especially off the high side. The high side's already really tight, especially later on in a run, and it will scare you. So. Look at John Honecker here as he is moved up to 5th place. Being able to make some good moves, get out there and get around folks pretty quick is going to have to, as folks are up front starting to spread out just a little bit. I didn't run any laps, so I really don't know what the fuel strategy is going to be. Probably you're going to have to make one stop. I don't know the exact run. I would imagine we're going to have very few cautions, if any at all. And so it's going to be important to make sure you save those tires. You're going to have to make one stop. You're going to have to decide, when am I going to do that? Usually folks will try to split it in half. So right around 45 laps seems to be a good time to do it, especially if you're a leader and you're up front. If you've been trying to pass somebody for a few laps, you just can't seem to get to their bumper and get in front of them. You see John Honecker making a move on Anthony Pritchett for 4th place. But if you're having trouble getting around somebody just right on their bumper, it may be advantageous to go in a few laps earlier, try to get new tires. New tires are going to make a huge difference. If cautions do fly, they will definitely be coming down and getting tires tonight, because this track will eat it up. I talked to a few drivers. I won't say who, because I don't want to give away their their strategies, but they said after about a 20-lap run, their tires are 75-93. 75 on the right front, and that's percentage, and 93 on the back. So really burning that right front up, and that will be very difficult to deal with later on in the run. As you see, John Honecker, he is working that top side, trying to keep his momentum up, run. As I say that, he jumps right down to that middle lane. But you love to see this. I'm so glad iRacing got this fixed up. Being able to run multiple grooves, see guys all over the track, being able to make passes, it makes for some really amazing races that normally you're kind of stuck behind somebody. You can't really get behind them. It's, say, like a Charlotte. You can't really get around them without mistake or just being faster. Here you can actually race and you know, if somebody's in your lane, you can move up to the top side, get that fresh air, the clean air on your splitter, and make up some ground on them. So I expect to see a lot of that tonight as we see Alan Smith on those fresh tires. He is trying to get past some of these folks. You see how much faster those new tires are as he's, like I said, pitted and come back in and got his faster pair. He is, let's see, quite a few laps down. I really don't know how many laps, but we'll actually look at the. He is 6 laps down, so a lot of time to make up. It's really unfortunate here. It's just with how many green flag runs at most tracks that we have, it's really difficult to make a mistake like that and recover from it. Just not a lot of opportunity to do that as he's going high on John Honecker, trying to get around him. Alan Smith really working that high line right against the wall, trying to make that speed, get a run on John as he is not racing for position, just trying to have fun, just to go out there and just, you know, John may not like it. It is what it is, but we're here to have fun, so that's exactly what he's doing. Looks like somebody had fun on that paint scheme too. Very, very busy. We check in on our leader. He is checked out. Him and Lee Dawson out to about a 1.5 seconds at this point. Jonah is over Lee, and then about the same distance from Lee back to Scott Tompkins. As John Honecker is starting to run down. Scott. Scott's going to be under fire from Alan Smith as he makes use of those new tires and just tries to wheel his way up through the field to get one of his 6 laps back. Scott's going to have to be careful as Alan's getting a run, and he does a slide job out in front of him. Alan's going to go low. And while this is happening, it's really bad for Scott because John is able to make up quite a bit of ground while Scott is trying to deal with Alan Smith. John gets a good run off the corner. We go on board with John as he's going to start searching around, find out. See right there, they're in the same line. That's going to be tough. It's tough to make that pass whenever you're right in his dirty air. So as we go down to the next few corners, I would imagine John's going to search around, try to find some fresh air to put on the front of that car, get him some more downforce. And that's what he does. He goes high. He's going to get a good run right here. Turn up the car sounds a little bit. So we see John going low, dives down to the bottom. Scott may be nursing some hot right front right now. Seems to be dropping back just a little bit. As we check in on Lee Dawson, watch him as he tries to run down our leader, Jonah Colbert. Lee has gained a little bit. He was about 1.4 seconds the last time we looked, and right now Lee has closed that gap as he was about 1.5 tenths faster that last lap. So he is starting to make up some ground, doing a great job of not letting Jonah get away. Let's go back here and watch this battle between Kevin LaPerriere and Philip Nugent. This has been going on for a while as they are trying to get around each other. Philip rocking that Larson line, getting right up against the wall. Kevin trying to make the pass on him. It's just so tough as you see Philip gets a huge run down the front straight. Very difficult to make that pass. So tough. can't quite make the pass. He's going to have to get back behind him and kind of reset it over. He grabs the wall just a little bit. Can't even tell that he hit the wall, so. So we go back and check in on our leaders, and we'll see the relative between the two. You see that he has gotten within a second, 8/10 now to Jonah as Lee is trying to run him down. Both of them running right on the bottom, running that low line, just taking care of the tires. It's just as fast. You can go out there and test it yourself. You can get your relative bar out and go run the top side, run the bottom side, and dadgummit if they ain't pretty close. As far as times go, the top side's a little bit more fun. It's a little bit easier, less throttle control you really have to deal with, but it just has that downside of really hurting the tires. So the bottom line's the way to go unless you're trying to make a pass, and you see these guys are right there against that white line, especially with the track being so cold. It's going to win out, especially when you're running by yourself. These leaders are pretty much mirroring their times. The last lap, they ran almost identical lap times. So as Lee Dawson gets closer, they're about 3 or 4 tenths, you start to notice the aero becomes an issue, and it's going to be one of those deals where he has to either decide to be patient. I'm going to be patient and just ride here. I think I'm faster. I was able to run him down, wait for a mistake, or does he try to push it? Does he try to go to the outside and get his nose clean and try to make a pass and get out and lead? If he is faster, it may be advantageous to do that, to go out front, get a gap on him, and if green flag pit stops happen, you'll have a nice advantage. And he is getting right on the back bumper. Lee Dawson desperate for a good finish after last week's just nightmare at Wilkesboro, where he had one of the best cars in the field and pitted early, and just as we see, he gets under Jonah Colbert off of turn 2. He's going to pull him down the straightaway as he has decided he wants to go, and he does just that, dives down in the bottom. Jonah gives him the spot. No reason to fight over it. And new leader, Lee Dawson, up to the point. The number 11 Poblocki Chevy Camaro. And this race is going to go by extremely fast. No caution flags yet. We only had one incident. Alan Smith just clips the wall, doesn't hit anybody else, hits the inside wall, and has to go in and get his fast repair. But so far, we've been all green flag laps. As we've got Philip Nugent already in pit road, along with Zach Mahoney, as they're coming in and go ahead and get their tires, see if they can come back out. And it looks like Phil misses his pit stall. Zach Mahoney just exits out. Looks like he's gone. So he must have had a tough race. Looks like he crashed. Yeah, just the back end comes out from under him and just overcorrects right into that outside wall. And it looks like he towed. Must have really messed up his motor. So see if he's still. Looks like he's not even on pit road. So it looks like he's calling it a day. All right. Well, before too many folks exit out and crash out, let's go through the field and just see where everybody's at and see how the race is going. As we've already talked about Lee Dawson taking the lead, running down Jonah Colbert. Jonah Colbert in second place. John Honecker, after starting from the back, it's a tough call to go from the back to the front here, especially with how fast these front two cars are. He's kind of stalled out there, but pit stops are coming up, so he can definitely make up some ground, get equal on the tires, and see if he can make up some time. Scott Tompkins dropped back one spot. He started third. He's in front and fourth. Oh, it looks like Zach Mahoney internet dropped out. Well, I hate to hear that, man. That is not fun. So But Scott Tompkins, like I said, running fourth. Anthony Pritchett just quietly running in fifth, having himself a nice race. Steve McDonald dropped back a couple spots, trying to run that high line. Might be dealing with a little tight situation running that high line as much as he has. I'm pretty sure I've seen him run it pretty much the whole race. As you see, he's coming under fire from Kevin LaPerriere running that bottom line. Kevin LaPerriere having a great race so far. Up one spot, has been racing really good. If he can stay, if he, he's faster than he acts, and if he can keep his nose clean and the right side on it, and stay clean, he is really, really fast, and I think he can make a charge up there to that top 5, and maybe even a win. So you see Steve getting in the danger of the high line, running that cushion, gets in the wall just a little bit. Didn't hurt him too bad, but you want to be careful. You see a battle starting to brew for this. We check in on James Danford. Well, guess what, James? We're reading this, and you did not self-spin, and you didn't wreck the whole field. You're running in 8th place. You're up 5 spots. Started near the back, making a good run so far. A caution, or something like that gets him right back in there. He's about 18 seconds behind the leader, so a lot of room, a lot of the ground to make up. Oh my goodness! Please don't self-spin while I'm on you. Okay, he gets super loose off the corner as I'm talking about him, and he is just kind of slinging it into the corner. He's got to be careful about that. Let's get off him before that happens. We move back here to Scott Zindel. Hey, you know what? As far as Iron Men go, this is definitely an Iron Man. He's very new. He's pretty new to the service, but he's a really clean driver. He's had some just issues with just kind of tagging the wall, getting in some incidents, but looks like, as far as I can tell from his car, is he has got a really clean DuPont Chevrolet. So congratulations, good run so far. Don't know why I'm congratulating you. That's kind of weird, but congratulations on running good so far at 37. Sean Pauly back here running this high line. He looked like he's tagged the wall a couple times. You see that right front. It's a little mushed in, so he's excited to get into pit road. As we're going to go up here and look at this little battle here. Not really much of a battle. Looks like Kevin was able to get past Steve, and Phillip is on brand new tires, so he is just going to fly right by him. But it looks like Kevin was able to get by Steve and move him up to 6th place. And Phillip Nugent's next on the list. And he is he's a lap down. Looks like he's already made his pit stop, so he's trying to make up some ground here as he is trying to make those new tires work for him, make up all that ground he was missing. And that way when these guys go into pit, he will have made up a lot of time, because a lot of guys are probably going to start pitting in the next 5 to 10 laps for sure. Alan Smith, we already talked about him. He's quite a few laps down after having an accident. Talked to him earlier today. He said he was going to show up tonight and just have fun. He ain't trying to be serious. He's trying to get out there and just have a blast. And so that's always good. Of course, Zach Mahoney off track, having some internet issues. So that's for our first DNF of the race. As we go back up to the lead, check in on Lee Dawson as, wow, he has got a really nice 3-second gap to second place Jonah Colbert. Man, just putting on a clinic. That's why it's Lee's keys, because he is rocking a new paint scheme. Normally runs that Valvoline Larson scheme, but tonight he's rocking Poblocki, his company the sign company. And they actually did the signs for Nashville Super Speedway whenever NASCAR went there to run. So very cool. His company was the ones who did those signs, and that's what he is rocking this week, is really nice paint scheme. That number 11 Chevrolet. With a track like this that has multiple grooves and a field that is As we see Jonah Colbert going into pit road, we'll kind of lock in on him as he comes down to make his pit stop. Starting to notice he is fading pretty bad, so he's going to come in and get new tires and try to go out there and maybe adjust a little bit, see where Lee is making up time on him, and try to get back, get that lead back. As his pit crew goes to work, he is the first one to hit pit road, and we'll see. Usually when a leader pits, or one of the top few pits, that's pretty much a green light for everybody else. As you see, he's going to have to exit through that access road. You enter off of turn 4. You don't have to enter in the access road when you're coming in pit road, but exiting, you have to use that access road. And you see he is flying, trying to make sure he can get as much time as he can off of the pit road. He's going to come out right in front of John Honecker, so that does put Jonah Colbert a lap down, which is a little nervous. You don't want to be a lap down for too long. Caution come out, trap you that lap down. So he's going to have to get up there and get it. You see the difference between new tires there, as he is, John is just a they came out close to each other, and it's already a really wide gap between the two. So we kind of compare lap times this time around. Yeah, it looks like Jonah's about a second faster now. So what that tells me is that he's not trying that hard to run down our leader to try to get back on the lead lap. He knows that Lee has to pit, and he is just managing his tires, taking it a little bit easier. That way he can save them. As we see, Lee Dawson is coming down pit road now. He decides to come off here. He knows he's losing time to Jonah, so he doesn't want to give it up too much. John Honecker are going to take over the lead for now until he makes his pit stop. Got quite a few people in pit road. We've got Scott Tompkins. He's going to exit pit road. Sean Pauly's in. He's going to get that damage fixed along with Scott Sindel. So we are getting busy on pit road. Be interested to see how everything shakes out. Everybody didn't pit together. Lee burns him coming off pit road. You see John Honecker coming in extremely fast, trying to get down in there and get as much as he can on these green flag pit stops. Try to gain a little bit of time. If he can gain just a second on pit road, just a little bit, doesn't take much, and it can be a lot of time on track. Gets into his box clean. We kind of watch Jonah Colbert, see where him and Lee Dawson come out. Oh, and Jonah Colbert was able to get out of ahead of Lee Dawson with those fresh tires. So Lee's going to have to, the next few laps, try to close that gap. But also, you have to manage your tires. So I'm just a bunch of contradictions today, but there's a lot going on here. As they're coming by full speed, John Honecker coming out of the access road. He looks like he is going to be quite a few. Didn't lose that much time, but he doesn't look like he gained that much either. He's going to come out right in front of Philip Nugent. Philip Nugent pitted about 15 laps to go, so he's had the most advantage of new tires, but these guys who pitted, like Scott Tompkins, are probably going to run him down pretty quickly. And Scott was pretty far up the field from him, so he should be able to get by him with little to no issue. As our leader, Anthony Pritchett, comes down pit road. Going to get service on his Ford Mustang, which, Ford Mustangs, they need service a lot, so he'll probably have about a 16, 17 second pit stop while they get that situated. But he's the last one to pit, and so he has cycled around. Cycled out of the lead, and that puts the lead back in Jonah Colbert's hands. Dawson comes out about a second and a half behind him. Let's go on board with Lee Dawson and see what he looks like. He's driving hard, he's trying to take it easy. Smooth as butter, I love it. It's such a fun combo just because it is sneaky how this car reacts. The setup is super tight going into both corners, so you have to use a lot of trail brake. But there's this weird, especially in 3 and 4. We'll stay with Lee for one more lap just to highlight how you have to run this track. But this combo going down in this corner is so tight. You want to put a lot of wheel, but you have to trail brake to keep from burning the front tires off. Just waiting. You pick up the throttle, and as you transition, it wants to kind of scoot out, but that's a pretty easy turn. But this one is so weird as you're so tight right here, just trail braking, trying to get the car pointed. And then right here, you have to wait, and then the track almost seems to just cut a little bit more to the left. And you have to wait to that point to get back on the throttle. If not, the car gets so tight, binds up off the corner. So Lee doing a great job of being patient. Is starting to run down Jonah with about 2 or 3 laps fresher tires. See how long he is off the throttle, and you really can't. I don't know if you can tell, but if you look at the steering wheel, he's got a lot of movement he can do. It gets pretty free or neutral in 3 and 4, where he can really get on it if he wanted to, but you just can't. You have to be patient. You have to be patient to get off turns 3 and 4 with that speed and not cause the car to wind up. Kind of see right here if you go down in the middle. He has to come off the steering wheel just a little bit because it's starting to over-rotate. Waiting, and it gets on the throttle. Comes off low. You don't want to go out to the wall and make the track unnecessarily long doing that. We got ourselves a battle for the lead. It looks like Lee Dawson is the man to beat tonight, as he has run down Jonah Colbert. Was able to get that advantage of the new tires, get that lead, but Lee has been able to run him down and is right now on his back bumper. As we are on lap 55 of 90. About 35 laps to go, so not much time left in this race, but not. It's still a long way, just a little bit over halfway. So, it's interesting what Jonah's going to do, how bad he's going to fight. Is he going to try to hold off Lee, or is he going to let him go? What's he going to do? If you let him by, you may never see him again. They are coming up on lap cars, and they're going to go 3 wide here, as Lee is going to take advantage of this and try to take the lead using these lap cars as sort of a pick. Jonah going to drive it down into the corner super deep, try to hold that top line. He doesn't want to let Lee go, but he's not able to hold that line as they come off the corner, and Lee Dawson takes the lead. Lee Dawson now is going to be behind the lap car, so see what Jonah decides to do. He's going to be able to take another shot at him. Great racing between these two as they are fighting for the lead, trying to get this victory tonight. Homestead is one of the favorites, but so a lot of folks want to win this race for sure. But as of right now, it looks like know, Jonah Culvert's really fast early on, but Lee Dawson seems to be the best car on the track as we speak, as he is able to get around Jonah. John Honaker still about 6.5 seconds back, not made up that much ground. He's going to really need a caution to be able to run these guys down, I believe. They are just too fast, as he had to start from the back and work his way up towards the front. Yeah, it looks like the tire fall off is just hitting Jonah just a little bit. He's a few tenths slower than what John and Lee are running. So just having a lot of fall off here tonight. You know, I talked a lot of trash about some of the tracks that we've already been to, thinking they weren't going to be that good races, and they ended up being really exciting. And then you get to a track like Homestead, and you think, man, this is going to be some hard racing. But it's been really spread out. It's been a lot of trying to manage tires, manage gaps, and you know, everybody seems to have done a really good job of getting on the pit road really good, and we're just spread out here. John Honaker is the fastest car on the track, but he's going to have to make up a whole lot more time if he's going to run down these, and he is doing it just very slow. So it's going to be one of those things where he might get there, but it's going to take some work for sure. But he's a few tenths faster than Jonah every lap, so he might run down Jonah by the end of this for sure. Lee, I'm not sure about. We'll have to see if he can do that. We'll go and check into James Danford. Hopefully he doesn't get loose while I'm talking about him, as he is starting to run down Phillip Nugent. The early tire advantage that Phillip got is starting to fall back a little bit. James is starting to reel him in. This is for 8th place. Phillip running that high line, running that cushion, but you can see the tire advantage. Just James able to just drive right by him on the bottom, so move him up to 8th place. Really good run for him. Look at the track map to see how spread out we are. You'll see that this little group of cars here is about the closest 3 cars or 2 cars on the track. You see Sean Pauley with brand new tires coming into the picture there. We'll keep an eye on him as he tries to run down James. He's passing Phillip for 9th. James Sansford running that cushion. He is about as close to the wall as you can get. Probably a smart move to come down a little bit in 3 and 4. It can kind of step out on you if you're not too careful. He is about to be under fire from Sean Pauly for too long. Check in on our leader as he is right behind this group of cars. Starting to put folks a lap down. He has run down Philip Nugent as man, Lee Dawson has put in the work, and this week he has shown up ready to go as he is, man, is he putting on a show. I can't say I'm surprised. I definitely cannot say that. He has been, he's been up front every week the last few weeks, and so he has definitely made a turn. He's been fast for a while, but he is making a turn where he is being able to be dominant in these races. Last week was an anomaly, I think, as he is, see Jonah Colbert gets in the wall a little bit as he's going around Phillip. But last week was just tough. He decided to pit and gave up the lead and ended up, after that, just in a cycle of, man, I just can't do anything. He got turned a couple times just through some accidents and just was never able to get up there and challenge for the lead again. So this week he is on a mission to really get revenge on that race, as he is almost out to a 3-second lead. Looks like the next battle that we're going to have is between Jonah Colbert and John Honaker. John has been, let's see, this time by about 4/10 faster that lap, so he is definitely gaining on Jonah about 2.5 seconds, a little bit less than 2.5 seconds now with 20 laps to go, so plenty of time to run him down, get second place. Lee Dawson may be a little bit out of reach without some sort of caution. We haven't really seen anybody in a position to cause a caution. We've had a couple spins. People just completely total their race cars on the front stretch and no caution. So I would imagine there would have to be just an itchy situation for that to happen. Missing a couple drivers tonight. Jason Raychalk, who has been a really, really strong driver. He is out tonight. Justin Diaz out tonight. Poor guy. I really feel bad for him. He was at the Indy race today, and I just can't imagine being in a NASCAR race. Poor thing. But Daniel Rowe is also out tonight. So quite a few guys that are normally pretty quick out tonight. Is we'll kind of zero in as Lee Dawson. He's gone. He's off to the moon. So we're going to kind of zero in on this battle for second place. I'm seeing a little crinkle on the right front of Jonah's car, so he may be in some trouble with that. That's definitely not what you want to see. That would definitely tighten the car up. So when he pancaked that wall, so it looks like it's just a matter of time. He's probably going to be nursing that car a little bit. bottom as John gets it wound up on the high side. And with that damage, I just don't know. I don't know how much he's going to be able to really hold off John. John with a little bit fresher tires as well. And John's been running him down for quite a few laps. So I think that damage has really done him in. As he's still holding strong, John hasn't been able to get around him just yet. He is right there on his bumper. He's going to look down towards the bottom this time. As Jonah goes up high. Doesn't really fight him. Knows he's faster, just lets him go. So John Honaker up to second place. With about 14 laps to go, he's gonna struggle to catch Lee here, as he is 6 seconds. John's been about 6 seconds away this whole time, so he's made up a little ground, but not near enough to run down Lee. So Lee, all he's got to do is just keep clicking them off, be smooth, and he's going to bring that for blocky Chevrolet Camaro to victory lane. As these couple guys that pitted come out with fresh tires. Philip Nugent going to fly right by. And I believe Sean Pauly's in the same boat, so he's going to oh, maybe not. What an impressive run for Lee. I know he's been needing a race like this where he can just go in here and dominate. Yeah, that's what he's done so far. Is he has just crushed the competition tonight. Saw a little bit this week. He had branched out and started doing some IndyCar stuff, so that's really exciting. He's starting to make use of his iRace subscription and branch out some different things. Last lap by, Lee and John running about the same lap times. We go back here and watch. We got a little battle brewing for fourth place as Anthony Pritchett. You don't hear much from Anthony, and don't know as he's gotten super loose, trying to defend that position. Doesn't want to give it up. Yeah, we don't hear much from Anthony, and even in the races, we don't hear that much from him until towards the end, and he comes out of nowhere and ends up top 3, top 4, top 5, as he is putting the pressure on Scott Tompkins, trying to get that position from him. Late in the race, Scott is not going to give up that easily. As you see, he is, oh boy, he is letting it hang out on the top side. They're still side by side, going down into the corner. Scott's going to get down on his door a little bit, try to take that air off of him. It looks like the bottom line is going to prevail. And, oh no, Scott got in the wall a little bit. I can tell by the way he had to lift her. So, move Anthony Pritchett up to fourth place. What a great run for him. And Scott still, his ass in is still stepping out. Let's check in with Sean Pauly and Steve McDonald as they battle for position here. Steve McDonald had a tough race. He's down 3 spots from where he started. I saw him running that high line a bunch. You know, I don't want to make assumptions about some man's race, but I think that probably kind of hurt him a little bit just in the tire departments. It's really fun and really really fast up there, but it just eats through them so bad. And I don't know if that's the case, but Sean Pauley moves up to 7th. Sean Pauley up 2 spots from where he started, so fantastic race for him. Check in on Alan Smith. He's still about 6 laps down. Just no cautions, nothing to really get him back in the mix after that first incident. But he has gone in a couple times to get some tires, to go out there and just have a good time. Looks like he's pitted 5 times. So he goes in there, runs about 10, 15 laps, goes in and pits, comes out with new tires, and blows by everybody. So he's definitely having fun. Well, I don't know what in the world happened there. Let's go back and check that out. Jonah gets super loose off that corner. Was able to save it, though. Good job saving it. Jonah's something about 12 seconds back from our leader, Lee. Well, Scott Sindle's got a little bit of pancake on that right side and gotten to the wall a little bit, but at this point, about everybody has done it. So his car looks relatively clean. So but a man of the hour right now, Lee Dawson, as we're coming to 2 to go. He's got the lap car of Kevin LaPerry. He's going to lap. You know, if he gets around him, he's going to lap up to 6th place. So, regardless, though, good run for Kevin LaPerry here. He has kept that car clean, that Whataburger car, and he's running, having a good race in 6th. But I don't know. Sometimes when you're on, and Lee Dawson is definitely that. As we come down, take the white flag. No, caution is not going to matter now. We took the white flag, so he is going to. All he has to do is literally just get back to that start-finish line. Anybody has an accident or wreck, it does not matter. He comes down into 3 and 4. Just a dominating performance, man. If you're trying to win a championship and you in the point standings with the drop weeks are that close, this is the kind of race that you need to have. Lee Dawson with a dominating performance. Nobody could touch him. And he wins the soon-to-be-the-new-Atlantis 90. So congratulations in that Poblocki Chevrolet Camaro. Takes home the victory in a dominating fashion. What an incredible race for him. Just not much to say. Just completely waxed the field. Nobody was even close. So great job, Lee. And that will surely have him sole control of the point standings, as he definitely led the most laps and led a lap. So he's going to get 2 bonus points for that. And wins the race. We don't do any extra bonus points for winning the race. So you get 43 for winning and 42 for second place. So those 2 bonus points mean everything when the point standings were just 3 points separating the top 3. So, man, what an amazing drive. What a great points day for him. He's going to take sole control of those standings. And with 3 races left, gives him a little breathing room to try to take home this championship. But that being said, let's bring in our 3rd place finisher, Jonah, and let's talk to him. Hey, Jonah, this is Eddie in the booth. You got me?
What's up?
Well, man, talk to me about your race, man. You had a good start, and you had the you had the race kind of in control for a while, but you started to fade a little bit towards the half uh, the second part of that first run. Talk to me a little bit about it.
I messed up trying to save tires. It was a shitty setup, and the car wouldn't turn from the word go. And I thought I could save tires and be fast on the long run, and you can't save them. It is impossible. It wouldn't turn into turn one, pretty much the whole run. Uh, I think the track was really cool, and it was still, I think my qualifying time was still a second off my fastest time ever, which was set like a month ago, I think. So
Wow.
yeah, that setup was just really tight, literally the entire race. And I did everything I could to save tires. It didn't work. So in the second half, I tried to run a little bit hotter, and it didn't work. So yeah,
Well, still a good third place
didn't
finish.
didn't figure it out.
Yeah, well, it's still a good finish, finishing third. But as we get close to the end of the year, the point standings are super tight. So there's a couple good tracks for you coming up. I think you'll be good there for sure. It's hard to say you had an off night. You finished third, man. That's still a good race. I know you wanted to
Yeah,
win, but
yeah,
that was a good race. But yeah, I mean, I saw you. Did you pancake the wall one time? I noticed you had some damage on the right side.
yeah. My phone was ringing, and I was not paying attention.
Okay.
So
All right, man. Well, hey, good race.
thanks. See ya.
All right, well, let's talk to John. See what our second place finisher has to say. Hey, John, this is Eddie in the booth. You got me,
Hey Eddie, how are you?
man. Good. Well, you started from the back, and I think you were pretty quick. You were just quick as a top three. But just going green from flag to flag, it's you just couldn't make up any time. Kind of talk about your race.
Yeah, I mean that's exactly it. Obviously, I've decided to start in the back for these races this season, and like you said, when it goes green, that makes it a challenge. I mean, honestly, I think Lee had the fastest car regardless. The first run, I didn't really know what line I wanted to run. I kind of ran low, I kind of ran high. My tires were not looking too good after the pit stop. So I was like, you know what? Let me try and run the absolute bottom groove, which I did not think was viable, and found some pretty good success. But I mean, Lee definitely had the quickest car. There was nothing I was going to do to catch him.
Well, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting how that high line will just burn through your tires, but it sure does make it fun. I mean, did you at least have a good time running up through the field, being able to pass cars at a track like this, where some tracks are just a pain in the butt? This one just is so many grooves that you can make work. It's probably pretty fun coming up through the field like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely it was. I mean, there was that second run specifically. I think I ran the high line maybe two or three times just to make a pass or let somebody by. It was nice because you actually could do that and not lose a ton of time. Yeah. And there, when I passed Kolb there for a second, I was kind of mixing my groove up. I'm just pitting. I think he pitted 5 or 6 laps before me. His tires were just in worse shape by the time I made it to him, so I don't think he was going to be able to put up much of a fight.
Well, let's talk about the points battle just a little bit because I talked about it during the race a little bit. Lee is the points leader as the points stand before tonight. But however, with drop weeks, you guys were literally 3 points separated the three drivers, you, Jonah, and Lee. As we go down to Lee got a couple more bonus points this time tonight and was going to get a little bit of a lead. But going forward, Watkins Glen, Daytona, Fontana. I mean, what are your thoughts on going forward here, trying to run for this championship?
Yeah, Watkins Glen, I feel pretty good about my pace. Hopefully, I can get up to the lead some laps because it's going to come down to bonus points. It's going to be what probably wins somebody the championship. I think with drop weeks, if my math's right, Lee will be 1 point up on me after this week, and Jonah may be 2 points behind me, something like that. So it's still very tight. Daytona is going to be Daytona. Who the heck knows what's going to happen there? you could win and lead every lap, or you could finish dead last. And then Fontana being the last race, that'll probably be a really fun, interesting race because I think you can run multiple grooves there. So yeah, I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun for sure.
Cool, man. Well, congratulations. Good job on second place, and man, good run tonight.
Appreciate it.
All right, well let's talk to the man of the hour, Lee Dawson, our winner tonight. Lee, what's going on, man? You got a copy?
What's up, buddy? I got you.
Man, congratulations, dude. I mean, you know, you didn't give me much to talk about tonight because you just waxed everybody. Kind of talk about your race, man. Did you feel like you were going to be this dominant coming into the race, or, at what point did you decide, oh God, I'm going to crush everybody by 8 seconds?
I think I learned that after the race. So first run, I thought Kolb was pushing it hard, and I thought that he burned his tires off, and that's why I caught him. So the second half of the first run, I thought that I had just done a better job of saving tires. I did think it was going to have green flag stops, Lee's keys, and I got on pit road really good, got off pit road really good, and then second run, I thought Kolb burned his tires off again in the first 4 laps of the run, and um, then I thought he went into full tire save mode, like he was going to try to outsmart me on the long run. So, dude, I was not driving hard on that second run. That's probably the easiest I've ever run in the lead. And I was talking to Cole on pit road, and he was saying that he was saving tires the whole race. So I don't know, man. I didn't. A lot of people thought the setup was challenging. I didn't really think so. I thought it was pretty easy to drive. So I was focused on the bottom line, focused on not pushing tires, and my tires were in good shape both runs.
Yeah, you and Jonah were the few that never really ventured up to the top line, and it definitely showed for a while there. Is the secret that I know is that bottom line is just as fast and it saves a lot of tires, and you definitely know it as well because you showed up and man, just put on a great show, man. I think after last week, I think you deserved it. A lot of things were out of your control, and it kind of felt like you were just trying to claw your way back to the front and just never could get there. So I know it was frustrating, but to come back the next week and just completely dominate, man, that's a great feeling, I'm sure.
Yeah, it feels good. I don't know if you caught it on the broadcast. I tried the top line, I think 3 laps on the first run in 1 and 2, and I gained a little bit of ground, but I knew I had followed you in a cup race, and I knew that was not the thing I needed to do. So I knew I could get up there, and I knew what I needed to do if I needed to pass Cole. But every time I needed to pass somebody, I just went by them. So man, I don't know. This ain't exactly one of my best tracks, but hey, we'll take the
It is.
win.
Hey, it is now. It
No
is
doubt.
now, man. Well,
No doubt.
congratulations, man, getting Poblaki into victory lane, man. That's awesome. First night running it, and you get into victory lane. So congratulations, man. Man, it was an awesome race. It was very spread out, but who cares? You don't give a rip about that. You wanted to win, and that's exactly what you did. So, man, congratulations.
I appreciate it, man. Scott got the Poblaki truck, I think, third on Thursday night. We got the Poblaki Chevy a win tonight, so we'll have to keep running that and see what happens.
Hell yeah. Well, I asked the others the same thing. As we're going into the final stretch, we have 3 races to go. You got Watkins Glen, you've got Daytona, and you've got Fontana Auto Club. Um, Coming into this race with drop weeks, there was a 3 point spread between you, Jonah, and John. Kind of going into the next few weeks, I mean, how you feeling? The Glen, you got to know that John is going to be really strong there. So is Jonah. Um, and you're very strong at road courses, so I think it'll be a fun battle there. Daytona is going to be a wild card, and then Fontana at the end. I mean, how you feeling? You should have about a point or 2 point lead. We'll see after tonight with drop weeks. How you feeling going forward? Do you feel good about the next few races? Are you a little nervous, or you don't want to say?
No, I mean, I think I've got to run top 5 at the Glen. Daytona, I need something bad to happen to them. I'm a terrible plate racer. I'm not good. So I just need to keep the fenders on it and be around at the end, and hopefully something bad happens to the people around me. And I got to go out and win Fontana. I mean, that's as simple as that. So I don't know. Feel decent. I feel like I could be in a much better position looking back over the season. But hey, what's done is done. So go out to the Glen, no off tracks, finish top 5, go to Daytona, don't touch anybody else's car, go win Fontana. That's the plan.
Well, man, I think you can get it done, man. I think you've been one of the most consistent drivers at every track we've been to. So I can't say I'm pulling for you. I don't think that's legal. But I think you're definitely a favorite, man, to take home the championship this year. So congratulations tonight, man. It's been a lot of fun watching you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the kind words. Thank you.
See ya. Well, there's your race winner, Lee Dawson. Is now going to be our points leader as we head into Watkins Glen next week, and we'll bring up the schedule one more time just to show that off. And like I said, we're getting down to the home stretch now. And Watkins Glen is going to be a fun one. Watkins Glen in a stock car is always really fun. And I think a lot of drivers here are getting better. A lot of folks really get in there to the road courses and take to them. So it'll be fun to see that race. I think it'll be a blast to watch. Daytona, I don't like I don't like racing in Daytona, but I definitely like watching it. So that's going to be a wild card. Those three drivers are going to be a little nervous going into that race, as it's so easy to get caught up in someone else's stuff. So I think the next few races are going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to that as we move forward just a few more weeks till the end of the season, and then we crown our Busch Series champion, and another SCAR season will be in the books. So hopefully we get some more guys back, a couple guys out doing real life thing, and that's okay. And hopefully we're excited to see them again, and hopefully we can get them all out here for Watkins Glen. So, but anyway, congratulations to our race winner Lee Dawson, and we'll go through the list real quick and just highlight everybody. Lee Dawson, John, and Jonah are your top three. Anthony Pritchett comes home fourth place. Congratulations to him. That's such a good run. Scott Tompkins finished in the top five. Kevin LePerrier with a strong run in sixth. Sean Pauley also with a strong run in seventh. Steve McDonald in eighth. James Danford finishes ninth. Scott Sindel 10th. Philip Nugent the 11th. Alan Smith 12th. And Zach Mahoney rounds out your field in 13th place with his incident and subsequent disconnect. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. I know it's always frustrating. So, but good race nonetheless, and we'll see you guys next week.